Hi, everyone. I'm here with Carla Titus of Wealth and Worth Within. She's a virtual CFO, money coach, and financial consultant for small business owners and entrepreneurs. Hi, Carla.
Hi, thank you, Kate, for having me.
So before we dive into what it is that you do for your clients, tell me, what exactly is a virtual CFO? Because I'm sure a lot of people are wondering.
Yeah, so a virtual CFO is essentially a finance department for your business that you can outsource work to. And it's great because I take care of all the financial planning for your business and really help you focus on the things that are very important for you to keep an eye on. And then making sure that you're meeting the metrics, that you have a plan for the future, you have a budget that's helping you and guide you in your decision making on where to spend your money, that you're keeping an eye on certain percentages or key performance indicators that are important to driving the profitability of the business. And then that gives you time back to work on the things that matter for your business to move it forward so that the financial aspect of it doesn't become a burden. And, a lot of people don't like it. So I love it. I'll do it all day long, right? And so the advantage of the work that I do is that you get time back to work on the things you're good at. And I take care of the things that I'm really good at, which is all the money planning and finances, while keeping you in the loop to make sure you're only paying attention to the things that really matter around the financials.
Yeah, well, I think most people probably don't like the financial aspect, so it's good that there's someone out there that does.
Yes, exactly. I meet a lot of entrepreneurs who are like, I have no idea, right? There's obviously a knowledge gap I'm trying to close as well by teaching about finances and empowering entrepreneurs to take control of the money in their business, so that it doesn't just disappear all of a sudden. And you look at your bank account and you're like, I have no idea where the money went. And then your
Yeah.
accountant's like, but you had a profitable year. But then you're like, but there is no money in the bank. What happened, right? Getting
Yeah.
that gap and how to manage it is really what I help them with.
Yeah. So what led you down the path of doing this kind of work?
Yeah, so like I was telling you, there was a knowledge gap I'm trying to close, right? A lot of people don't get taught this in school, or when they go to business school, maybe they'll touch on it, but most people are like, I don't even want to learn about it. But who needs to know that, stuff until you get into owning your own business. And then it's critical that you have some basic understanding of the finances in the business so that you can be successful, because running out of cash is the easiest way to get out of business, right? And having to shut down your business and like walk away from it because you didn't manage it right. But
Yeah.
it's the last thing people think about in business, right? They think about marketing and the HR and the legal and all these other things before they think about the money. But without money, you can't make that big impact you're trying to make in your business. And so it's just as critical as like the oxygen we breathe, right? And
Right.
so for you not to have the understanding of how to deal with it, how to manage it, how to control it, it can get you in trouble really quickly. So to me, it was I'm on a mission to just help empower entrepreneurs to be profitable, successful business owners that can, support their families through their business. Why not, right? Um,
Yes.
Sometimes I meet entrepreneurs that are like, oh, I don't need to pay myself. I do this for free. I love it. I have a passion. Like, and I'm like, how do you buy groceries, right? And so to me, it's just like money to make that impact and also support your family. So it's just critical that you're making the revenue that you expect, and then you're also keeping some money for yourself and for the business, reinvesting back, paying yourself. Those are critical things that just get left behind. And I want to make sure that every entrepreneur has that information so that they can feel in control and never have to run into problems when it comes to money or cash in their bank account.
Right. And you may have touched on this a little bit already, but why is financial literacy so important for small business owners, not just in business, but in your personal life as well?
Yeah, so personal finances are no different from business, right? We try to run on a budget ideally. We have an idea of where the money is going. When you don't control money, money controls you really easily because
Mhm.
it just goes poof, right? And it disappears, and you're just like, again, why is my bank balance not what I expect it to be? It's because you've been spending and didn't have a plan to guide you and give you an idea of where you want money to go. And so money just takes over, and then it just does whatever, with your debit card as you're swiping, and you forget about it.
Yes.
So when you pay attention, you're much more intentional on every dollar you spend and where money is going, either for business or personal, right? So you're telling money what to do for you, how to work for you, and what you're going to get out of money as a tool and a resource for your business or your personal finances. Now, in turn, this helps you achieve your goals long term, either for the business or your personal life goals. And then it helps you have a path how to get there when you have the money available to do so, because unfortunately money touches all aspects of our life, and it's important that we know how we're allocating to those areas in our life that are important, or in our business that we want to make sure are funded correctly.
Right. No, that makes total sense. So in the entrepreneur space today, there are a lot of business coaches. There are a dime a dozen. But what's the difference between a business coach and what you do, which is more of like a money coach and financial consultant?
Yeah, so a business coach tends to be someone who is more general, that has a lot of knowledge around different areas such as marketing. Maybe they have some HR experience, maybe they've done some of the legal work, right? And they can support you in that broader way. What I do is I'm very specialized and focused around the finances of the business. And then where the entrepreneur needs some help from other areas, I bring in experts in those areas to help facilitate that. But I focus around the finances because, like I said, right, planning, having cash flow management procedures, financial processes in your business that are helping you automate or save you time is very important. And, keeping an eye on those things is also crucial. And so if you don't have someone who has that expertise, that has done this before, that knows the financial planning cycles you need to be having, that can have the tough conversations at the strategic level on where you're going to spend your money and what are you going to spend your money for? What return on investment are you getting back from that investment, right? And really thinking through that framework, it's really hard to drive results. And so well, business coaches are great if you're in a spot where, like, you know what, things are good. Like, I don't have problems with money. I don't have problems with marketing. I don't have this type of particular issue. Where people have the most trouble is when they come to me with, hey, my cash flow strategies is not working because I don't have one, or I need to implement one. Or, you know what, financial processes, like my accounts receivable are through the roof and I can't seem to collect all my outstanding invoices. What do I do, right? There were just no foundational finance systems in place to help you avoid that, which can really get you in trouble. And so I specialize in that area of business because not many people have that information, right? And I'm trying to make sure that they know how to control that cash that comes in and out of their business and making the right decisions there. And then from a money coaching perspective, I noticed that working with my business owners, a lot of them, if their business finances were a little off, their personal finances were just as bad,
Oh,
right?
yeah, I can imagine.
They were struggling, and I felt for them because I'm like, well, they're relying on this business to support them financially at home. And then at home, they're also not paying attention to their money, and they're getting in trouble there. They're not getting out of debt. They're not meeting their life goals to buy a house or have kids, whatever it was. And I saw that gap and I wanted to close it for them. And so I added a money coaching program for the business owners I support so that I can make sure that both sides of the equation are taken care of, and they don't have to go to someone else, right? They're already used to working with me and they can come to me for advice in that area as well. And we can tackle it and make sure they're successful in their personal finances as well, which is no different than the business, right? So we implement kind of similar tactics, just slightly different since it's for your personal finance goals.
So you offer the total package, personal, business, making sure everybody's in line with all of their goals and hitting everything on target.
Yes, anything that touches money, I can help you with. So it's a one-stop shop, and we can, really focus, our attention to what's happening with the money across both sides, because business entrepreneurs' lives are not separate, right? They're not like the personal side, draw the line in the middle, and then the business side. It's all intertwined. Like they're living their lives, they're working in their own business, and sometimes a business is funding a big chunk of their personal finances, right? And so knowing and understanding how that should work and how you operate those things separately, but still being a whole person that has both sides to their money, understanding that is really important when you're looking at your full financial picture.
Yeah. And when you work with clients, what would you say is the number one mistake that you see people making with their finances?
Yeah, so the one that will get you in trouble quickly and that again, it's the last thing people think about, right? It's a cash flow management strategy. And so what I mean by that is, you have money coming in, you have money going out, and then there's a leftover, the profit, right? Hopefully you're making money and not spending too much. And so ideally, the timing of this would be fluid if people would pay you on time, which, would happen 100% of the time. So please tell me you're one of those people, because that would be amazing. But that never happens, right?
Yeah.
People get late on their payments. Sometimes they forget. Sometimes they take 30 days to pay you. It just depends on the payment terms. And so if you're not adjusting for that, right, where you have enough cushion to get you to the next time your client pays you, which might be net 30, which is 30 days out. It could be net 60 for bigger companies, right? So 60 days with no payment, but you already did the work and you're already trying to collect on that, but you got to wait that much time. If you don't have the cash stashed in your bank account, you have bills to pay, because
Right.
your bills are also due, and they're not necessarily going to give you 30 days to wait for your client to pay you for you to pay them. And so the timing of that cash when it comes in and when it goes out is critical. And so if entrepreneurs are not looking at that on a weekly basis and really have an idea of what's happening there, they could be in the negative in their bank account and they can get in trouble really quickly. And then it just snowballs from there, right? To be a bigger problem that I have to dig them out of. And it costs more money and more time. And, I'm happy to help them, but I rather prevent that from happening by having them work with me.
Yeah. Well, let's say that someone is at a point in their business where they're not ready to hire someone like you, or maybe they're not making enough money, or they're just not emotionally prepared to go over everything like that. What are some tools and resources that you can point them to that can be helpful for them to kind of get the ball rolling on their own?
Yeah, so first I want to make sure like they're tracking their expenses. So they have a budget or they have some form of attention to what's happening with their money in their business. So that's where you start. You can use software for that. You can use Excel spreadsheet. You can use a notebook and pen. It doesn't matter. You just need to keep an eye on it, right? And have a plan for it. So plan a month out, 3 months out. What are the expenses? What is the income? And then what I tell entrepreneurs is get into the habit of paying yourself. That's like the hardest thing to do, but it's like the most important thing for you. It's a motivator when you're seeing that your business is generating for you. And even if it's $20, like I don't care, right? If it's like a 1% of what you're making, it's okay. You start somewhere and you go from there and you make it, you increase it over time, right? And as far as resources, my website is full of resources. You can sign up for a video I did around pricing and forecasting and how to do a budget on my site. There's a sign up here, and then you'll get access to that for free. I have a blog with a lot of resources as well that you can check out in different topics. I've done a few podcast interviews and videos like this that you might find helpful. And then I like some books that I normally recommend on the financial side is Profit First. It's just a good DIY way to do and establish percentages in your business on how to manage your money best. And it prioritizes paying yourself, which is great. And then on the money coaching side, I always tell people that they should read The Millionaire Next Door. It talks about how normal people that might be living next door to you are millionaires, and you will never be able to tell because they're not showing it off. They just have stealth wealth, right? And they practice, accumulating assets and earning for their future rather than showing it all off all the time and spending money on things that might be material, but that won't build your wealth in the long term. And so those are two really good resources that are, that you can purchase as well if you want to look at that. And there's many courses and other things you can do as well. But if nothing else, just educate yourself on how to manage money. That's the number one thing I would recommend people do.
Yeah, that's so important. And I love Profit First, by the way. Full endorsement. I started using that system from the day I started my business, and it's helped so much because I do actually pay myself, which feels good.
Doesn't it? It's great. Yeah,
Yeah, it
exactly.
keeps
Let's
you
just get it in
motivated.
the habit. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So to wrap it up, how can people find you and work with you if they are ready to take that next step?
Yeah, if you're ready to work with me, you can go on my website, wealthworthwithin.com, and you can book a CFO strategy session for business owners. And we can do a financial assessment on where you're at. I can point out a few areas that are concerns. We can start establishing financial processes that you need in your business, identifying what those are and starting implementing them. And then you walk away with a DIY strategy that you can implement on your own. But if you need help, if you're like, okay, this is great, but I don't know how to do this, then we could definitely talk about how do we become an ongoing client, right? And I have packages for that I can offer to support you in every stage of your business. And then on the money coaching side, I have a money clarity session that you can book directly on my site again. And we will assess your personal finance health and see how we can help you achieve your goals long term, and all those dreams that you have, either be traveling or buying a house or starting a family. How do you make those a reality when you're trying to pay off debt and build wealth over time? And that's something I can help you with. And of course, there's ongoing support that I can provide there as well if it's needed. Otherwise, you walk away with your DIY plan ready to go to implement it right away and fix your personal finances.
Well, that's great. Thank you so much, Carla.
Yeah, thank you.